Hey SMB family, it's Jed. Welcome to the Bitcoin update. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Happy Monday. Starting off the week right. We are seeing Bitcoin making a move up. Um, you know, Nothing has changed since the last update. All the daily levels have remained the same. Nothing has changed. So again, at the time of the mastermind, pretty much we're going over this apex. Here you can see it actually ended up holding this region, okay? You can see how important holding certain ranges are here. In this case, you have the swing high, so you have the high here and the swing low of the swing high. And you can see what was once a resistance now becomes a support, okay? So we had a nice green candle close inside of that range. And you can see this was a red candle, right? Yep, on the daily time frame. However, you can see there's a nice rejection inside that region. Um, so just based off that wick, obviously that demand, there was enough demand for that to actually hold this region and pump it where? To this range here, right? It didn't hard close in between here or, even here. It hard closed and closed inside where? The next resistance range, right? Same trend line that brings it down is the same trend line that brings it up, okay? Now I did mention on the last update, you guys have to be careful because, we did go over the bearish perspective and we took note how important at least this region is if it were to hold it, um, how important it was, and yeah, it was enough for it to actually hold that area. And you can clearly see as soon as it holds that region, it goes directly to the next resistance area, right? Last green candle before this local downtrend, same trend line that brings it down, it's the same trend line that brings it up in this scenario, okay? So here, guys, we can clearly see anywhere in this range, if you're trading Bitcoin, would have been an amazing sell, okay? Anywhere in this range, right? If let's say you're leveraging or whatever. Um, Here you can see there, I'm surprised this wick isn't a little bit bigger, just based off that, we've been sort of in this range for, the past 2 weeks or so. But, you know, this is a tested region. It's followed by a lot of daily downtrends. So, I was just expecting a larger wick because the amount of resistances there are. But so far, it is actually looking pretty strong. So we'll see how this goes on the daily time frame. We're going to remove this daily downtrend because that's not needed anymore. We're going to move this to there. Okay. And we're just going to move, again, I want to do something more current. I like the bodies of the candles. Really up to you if you want to do the wick. That you could just set a larger range. But in my opinion, I'm going to stick with the bodies of the candles. And now you can disregard that for now, but now you can clearly see that we are in this new daily range inside here, right? We're not going to evolve this just yet because this candle, we have to wait until there's a red candle after the green candle until we can evolve this, right? And even if we did evolve it to here, I would say that it's just so closely in line with this daily downtrend. There's really no reason to, mark or evolve this one. It's really up to you, but I think it just will just clutter your chart. So I'm just gonna delete that there for now. But overall, it's very, very good to see that we are hitting the same top, right? The same top that brought it down. It's good to see that we're hitting the same region, right? And pretty much what that's saying, again, guys, if anyone that's new, is that if you're testing the same top that brought it down, right, it pretty much invalidates this whole downtrend, right? So if you can see here on locally, yes, it's a slightly downtrend. If we made a use a downtrend tool, we can see that it's a slightly very slight downtrend, but overall I would consider this a retest to the same top here. But and again, which is very good, okay, because that invalidates this whole downtrend. Now I'm not saying that oh my gosh, Bitcoin's gonna go break above into the weekly now. Again, like I said on the previous update. This is why it's so important on TAing on the smaller time frames. If we're looking at the weekly, right? If we're looking at the weekly, macro time frame, it's important that we look at the daily time frames because that smaller time frame on the daily is what's going to make up, the bigger move on the weekly time frame. So in this case, we're hitting this region here, guys. I'm pretty sure a lot of these altcoins maybe have moved up. I haven't really been paying attention to some of my altcoins. I set limits, but I don't think any of them hit. I didn't get any notifications. But if you are trading, I mean, I would assume maybe some of these moved up a bit. But overall, yeah, now is obviously not a time where you would accumulate, right? We only accumulate in support, right? You ride the move up. This is a move up on Bitcoin. So let's say you're, a whale at trading Bitcoin, then obviously this would be, a point of interest where you would want to sell. Okay. But anyways, so where Bitcoin is going to go now. Okay. So now that we had that done, the local apex broke out. We moved up to this resistance region here. Okay, now we just have to make sure if we want to continue the bullish perspective and continue moving up, one, we will have to first, one, hold this daily region, at least. Okay, I'm gonna make this yellow. Okay, we're gonna have to hold this daily region. If this daily region doesn't hold, we're most certainly, most definitely going back to this region here. Okay, now that's not a bad thing because even if it does retrace down to the 50, to the 63K range, it's still in an uptrend, right? We still have this daily uptrend that's still valid here. So very important, one, that this daily range holds. Again, if it doesn't, it's going to go down to this range, okay? Really not much of difference. It's only, a 2K drop, so it's really not that bad, but that would be the scenario there. Whereas if we can maintain this range, okay, meaning we will most likely break out of this a daily downtrend, right? If it's already retesting the same top, it's getting very tight here. This is pretty much the very local apex there. Um, with enough consecutive tests to the upside, we can most definitely break above the daily downtrend. However, again, we just have to keep in mind the resistances here. Again, I like the bodies of the candles. So for me, I want to go there. If you want to go here, be my guest. I mean, that's just being a little more conservative if you're selling. You just, increase your range. But for me, I'm gonna stick it there. And so yeah, if we break above the daily downtrend, where's the next resistance range? Right up here. Same trend line that brought it down will be the same trend line that brings it up. And here you can see that's where the downtrend is, and that's where it stops at this green candle. And that's where it's gonna lead up to if it can break above this daily downtrend, okay? If it can maintain this daily region. Um, so yeah, let me just delete some of this. So overall, yep, that's the scenarios that we have for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at it on a weekly time frame and see what it's looking like. Okay, so this looks really good. I know it looks really good. We have, the weekly candle hard closing in the middle of the weekly downtrend, right? Really nice to see that. Um, let's see what we got here. If we can mark some sort of weekly uptrend there. Um, let me maybe make this into a weekly trend line and see how that's looking like. So okay, so this weekly actually respected this uptrend because we moved it to here. So this candle's respecting it, and you never know, this candle might respect it too. This candle literally just opened. It's Monday, guys. There's still 6 days left until this candle close. So anything can happen here on this weekly time frame. But initially, right, we did have to be aware about the downside that Bitcoin has, right? Which here actually, if it's actually safe to say if it breaks below this weekly uptrend, then I'm pretty certain it's gonna go to this 57K range, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, sticking back to that, of steep uptrends and then going into daily and seeing how important that daily resistance or support range is important to hold, right? If this weekly uptrend breaks, it's definitely going back to the 57K range. Again, back to my point, there's still a lot of space here that we need that may need to fill out, Um, we just have to be mindful of both scenarios. We can't always be bullish, guys, because that's how you get wrecked, okay? So again, that weekly ties into the smaller time frames like this daily, right? So back to my point. If we want to maintain that bullish scenario on the weekly, right? Focus on the smaller time frames. First of all, this daily range has to hold and move up, right? The more hard closes on the upside, the more likely there's going to be a nice solid green candle on the weekly. Okay, so now that we have our Bitcoin, we had that for Bitcoin. Let's check out the dominance and see what that's looking like on the monthly. I mean, really no point looking at the monthly. Here on the weekly, so just open, starting off green. Okay, man, look at this like struggle here, man. I don't know why. I have a feeling like we may just see a pump up. Um, I really hope not. A downside would be amazing, but I don't know. Something's telling me we may see something on the upside for the dominance chart. And yeah, DXY, we are seeing, let me see what's going on the DXY chart. Man, it's really fighting here. Okay, I finally reached that top that brought it down. And just like Bitcoin, right? DXY, right? If we want to see DXY continue moving up, which we don't, right? DXY would have to, again, similar to Bitcoin, would have to maintain this resistance. Well, what was once a resistance, now a support range. So that's what it's doing. It would need to maintain that range to move up to this weekly. If it doesn't, it's most definitely going back down into the 102 range. So be mindful of that as well. So really bouncing again, as always, between these three. Okay, and once you have a solid foundation of the direction, then you can go into your altcoins, which we'll go over next. So if you guys have any questions, drop them down below. And I'm sorry about the microphone quality. I am not home. I'm traveling right now. But if you have any questions, I will get back to you as soon as possible. And by the way, we're going to go over Zappo and the altcoin update. So take care, guys. Bye.